going to call this meeting to order. Would you like to do a roll call? Well, you have to. I refuse. I've been called worse, so that's all right. Is there any declaration of interest? Seeing none, I need a motion to adopt the minutes of the Transit Executive Meeting for September the, thank you, Commissioner Brennan, Commissioner Garrett. All in favor? Oh, is there any questions at all? Brennan, I can, Brenner, Garrett, yeah. Is there any questions? All in favor? Thank you. I have our presentation from General Manager Holmes.
Good morning, and I prefer to stand here because I have a better view of everyone, so that's why I tend to come here instead of sitting there. So good afternoon, Chair Crawford, Commissioners, CEO Baxter Trahair, staff, and members of the public joining us today. Today I want to start by sharing two quotes with you that are really meaningful to me and apparent every day that I come to work at DRT in the region of Durham. And the first one is from Albert Einstein that says, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." And the second one is from Hall of Famer, NBA Hall of Famer Michael Jordan, when he said, "Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it." And I hope you see in my update today that how your DRT and regional teams continue to overcome barriers to advance public transit for Durham residents. Next slide, please. So I'll first start quickly by going through some of the October metrics with you. The collision rate is really moving in the right direction this year. It's at this point 12% lower than it was last year. So the work that our operations and training team are doing in terms of ensuring safety on the street is continuing to pay off for us. Ridership across all of our services is exceeding pre-pandemic levels, and I'll have a few more things to say about that in a moment. But one of our biggest challenges continues to be on-time performance and service reliability, which is primarily attributed to the increasing traffic congestion that we're experiencing across the region. Aside from construction activities, which significantly impacts operations, travel times continue to get longer, and an increasing amount of our budget is required to simply maintain current service levels. Next slide, please. So in speaking about ridership, this is preliminary data that I'm sharing from September. But at this point, it looks like our scheduled service boardings are at least 10 to 15% higher than they were in 2019. And these are record levels that we've never seen before, with daily weekday boardings of about 63,000 and some weekday boardings exceeding 68,000. So based on the pressures that we've observed in the summer and as we saw September starting to evolve, our service design team started looking at, where are these pressures, what's happening, what do we need to do to address some of these pressures? They identified the fact that to sustain ridership growth, maintain service reliability and availability, today we could use an additional 19 buses on the road in service across the network to address those pressures. Needless to say, it's really busy out there. Customers are seeing that and feeling that at times, and we have to bypass them. But just want to confirm with you that to this point in time, all budgeted service hours and resources are on the street. So we're sort of maxed out at this point, but things are going really well. People are turning to DRT for their transportation needs, and at this point in time, we're there to meet those. Next slide, please. Last month, we reported to TAC the current delivery of specialized transit and provided a summary of feedback that we had received during a recent engagement with active customers who are registered with DRT Specialized Services. We highlighted in that report that all of our services are impacted by unplanned incidents on the road, and during recent times we have experienced staff shortages. And both of these do require us from time to time to shift trips, and unfortunately some trips do have to be canceled. We also shared that On Demand is a shared ride service, and there is some expectation of some limited variability in pickup and drop-off times. Further, as a public transit provider, DRT is prohibited to prioritize access to service based on trip purpose, abilities, or destination, or to reserve capacity for our group or other trip purposes because it's inconsistent with the requirements of the AODA Integrated Accessibility Standard. In addition, the logistics of delivering efficient public transit service generally means that there will be different vehicle drivers for a route or a trip on any given day. That's just the way public transit works. Next slide, please. We have continued to receive feedback from customers who have expressed that they're not receiving the service levels that they expect. We also have been hearing from some day program as well in regards to service challenges that their customers are experiencing who use DRT. We do know that during the week of September 25th, we did have a number of drivers who were off on sick leave, and yes, that did impact our capacity, and we had to make some difficult decisions at the time in terms of shifting trips to times where there were capacity. Unfortunately, we did have to, we couldn't accommodate all of those trips. Now, we do continue to receive feedback from customers as well that they do expect more from us. As well as those day programs who continue to provide feedback to us. To ensure specialized transit customers are aware of the information that we provided to TEC in September, and to clarify what public transit is and what it isn't, we do plan to email a link for the September TEC report to individuals who attended our engagement session. And we're also going to share with them a copy of the report that the consultant prepared for us from the engagement session. It's really important to us that we maintain full transparency with our customers. As mentioned last month, there are members of our community whose individual or family travel needs exceed the transportation services provided by public transit or DRT, and that includes specialized transit. Their travel needs are no less important than the travel needs of others in the community, and again, perhaps there's other transportation options available in the community that can provide and meet those needs. Next slide, please. So the next update is quite exciting for us, and as you know, on September 25th, the province announced new legislation that will enable municipalities to support the building of stations along the GO train routes, including the GO East extension to Bowmanville. What was less publicized there, which is really important to us, was another component of Bill 131, which was a change to the City of Toronto Act, which will enable the TTC to enter into agreements with neighboring municipalities to deliver public transit services within Toronto. As you may know, since 2020, we've been collaborating with the TTC, Brampton Transit, MyWay, and York Region Transit to develop solutions that would truly enhance service and fare integration across our borders. It's been a topic around for, I hear, at least 25 years, but it's never been more necessary than today, or at a time of shared commitment and interests between local transit agencies. We did identify several barriers that do need to be removed to enable us to advance service integration with the TTC, and that includes the prohibition to pick up and transport customers within Toronto. So as an example today, our Pulse bus that goes to the University of Toronto Scarborough campus, once we cross the Durham-Toronto border, we are unable to pick up any customers who in Toronto along that route who may be going to the same location. So we have to operate closed doors. Toronto also has to schedule service to go along that corridor as well. And when you're looking at Mississauga, Brampton, York, and Durham, there is significant duplication of transit service on some common corridors, which is what we're looking at trying to address. So the advanced work that we had been completed was adopted by the Ministry of Transportation Fare and Service Integration Table, which was assembled in 2021. And while that table is focused on regional travel across the greater Golden Horseshoe, initial efforts have been focused within the GTHA. So Bill 131, which is an outcome of the work that we have been doing, removes one barrier to service integration and enables us to continue pursuing cost-neutral solutions towards overall efficiencies and improve experiences for residents traveling near or across municipal borders of the GTHA. So you do have our commitment to report back to TEC as we are seeing advances with service and fare integration. We'll make sure that you're aware of what those are. Next slide, please. I did want to provide a quick report to you today that at Finance and Administration Committee next week, there is a report going to request approval of funding for the purchase of property for the new Harmony and Windfields Farms terminals. $7 million was approved in the 23 capital budget and business plans process, but it was subject to an additional report to FNA and Council, which is going through the October cycle. And a quick update on the recovery at the Raleigh site. Just so you're aware, we do continue to deliver the scheduled service levels that were planned through September, but that would not be possible without the exceptional and ongoing efforts of our staff. So our training team continue to revise training schedules so that we don't require buses at peak periods of time. Maintenance are doing what they have to do to make sure the fleet is available. And our operations teams continue to make real-time adjustments across the network to address those pressures. So exceptional work under trying circumstances, but your DRT staff are doing exceptional work. From a site perspective, the recovery work is continuing. We are focused on reopening what we can of the indoor storage before it gets too cold in the winter. And we're also gearing up to look at that rebuild and what does the rebuild going to look like moving ahead. The cause of the fire remains indeterminate. From a fleet perspective, we are currently executing leases for buses from some vendors. I believe we have 6 coming in the near future and another 9 coming a little later on. Hopefully we'll start to see those showing up in service by the end of the year. We've also placed an order for 13 of the 19 buses that were lost in the fire, and we expect to see those in service by September of next year as well. So that's my update for this month, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have a speakers list. Commissioner Schumer.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. You can hear me okay? Great. My only question has to do with the fire. You mentioned that the cause is still not determined. Any idea when we will be able to determine that? It seems to me like a long time. It may very well not be a long time in the course of an investigation like that, but it would be very good to know if that was caused by some kind of maintenance issue or what have you. But any idea when we might be able to find out what the cause of that fire was?
Through the chair, we do know that the entire fire marshal said that they were not investigating the fire, and we do know that Oshawa Fire have completed their work in terms of at the site and have advised us that it was indeterminate based on their activities. At this point in time, we're not aware that perhaps we may not get a specific cause of the incident based on the investigations that were completed, but that's the information that we have so far.
Oh, okay. So basically you're saying we may very well not know because they have completed their investigations and it's just not knowing what caused the fire.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And do we know if that will affect any insurance issues at all?
Unaware of that. I know that we're working very closely with the insurance provider now to work through that, but I don't know if that will have an impact on that at this point in time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to, I was about to say Commissioner. Oh, yes. I just wanted to know, so you're replacing the 19 buses. Will they be conventional buses or hybrid or electric buses?
Through the chair, they will be diesel buses.
Okay.
And the rationale for that is we won't have the electrical infrastructure in place in time to support those. So that's why we have been required to order them as diesel, as well as the delivery time is shorter as well.
And I presume that insurance will be covering the cost?
We're still waiting for the final outcome in terms of the feedback from the insurance cover. That is the assumption at this point in time. It was important for us to get at least some of the vehicles ordered to hit the production schedule so that we can have them in service next year. We're very confident in our risk group and the insurance coverage that will be okay.
Okay, thank you.
I want to just say, I don't recall hearing any complaints or issues during that time, so congratulations to all of your staff. The loss of 19 buses is not insignificant, and the way that you were able to, kind of rally together and be able to continue to service Durham Region is commendable, so thank you very much for all of that. I don't see any other questions. So that's it. Okay, we have no Oh, down here? This one? Okay, we have another presentation from Nicole Ratty? Ratty? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Nicole Ratty. I'm the manager of transit policy and planning with Durham Region Transit. And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present a brief overview of our stations, terminals, and hubs strategy. This is an innovative and exciting strategy that Durham Region Transit has been hard at work creating, which will outline our planned infrastructure leading out to 2032. This is infrastructure to support growth, to support customer experience, and to support Durham Region service now and into the future. Next slide, please. Durham Region Transit often interacts first with customers at our bus stops, but it extends far beyond bus stops. This goes into new future infrastructure that our network will include over the next 10 years, including hubs, new terminals, and rail stations. This network of infrastructure that Durham Region Transit plans to install will support integrated, on-demand, and scheduled transit. And the strategy lays out what DRT will need to implement to support transit customers and operators and support significant growth in service in the next 10 years, which we all know is stemming from population growth, from planned greenfield development, from planned densification. And it will support this through innovative and new infrastructure that the region has not yet seen. Next slide, please. Starting with transfer hubs. So what is a transfer hub? They will be large, extended bus stops situated at significant intersections and connection points throughout the region. Transfer hubs will serve as a connection point between scheduled and on-demand service, quite specifically the specialized service that we offer for our customers with disabilities. What that means is that transfer hubs will be designed with accessibility in mind. There will be room for multiple vehicles at once to facilitate these transfers between on-demand and scheduled service. There will be demarcation for bus-only travel. There will be shelters, lighting, next bus information, and the opportunity to connect with active transportation, including cycling and potential future cycling pilots and bike share pilots. We plan to install and include innovative transit priority measures as well to ensure smooth operation and a positive customer experience. Transfer hubs will be distributed throughout the region with 1 to 2 per municipality as key connection points that will allow for first mile, last mile travel and for that transfer between on-demand and scheduled service. Next slide, please. In addition, we have terminals. General Manager Holmes began to introduce some very exciting work that we'll be doing in our transfer terminals. And at this time, DRT does not really have dedicated terminals for customer use in the network. We have large, lengthy sidewalks that our buses are able to use as first in, first out, but these are not efficient and not optimal for operation, or customers. The existing terminals that DRT has in place do not support our current service levels or opportunity for growth. They do not provide sufficient customer amenities, and they are crowded, often confusing, and at times outdated. We are looking at the opportunity to grow in the future and improve our terminal landscape. The terminals that you see on screen, with priority for Harmony Terminal, where we are seeking to purchase land, will be off-street, dedicated bus terminals that will support transfers, provide amenities and washroom access for our customers, allow for seamless transfers between routes and between modes of travel, and allow for integration with active transportation. These terminals will be necessary to anchor our system and allow for growth in service, new routes, and future planned growth in the neighborhood. Next slide, please. Rail stations are another anchor point within our system. While little is planned at the existing rail stations that DRT operates out of in Ajax, Oshawa, Whitby, and Pickering, DRT continues to liaise with Metrolinx to ensure space within the future Lakeshore East rail extension to Bowmanville. With this extension, DR intends to operate and continue operating out of Metrolinx-owned facilities, allowing a transfer between our DRT routes at 4 new GO stations, as well as onto rail service through Bowmanville. Once these new stations are constructed, DRT expects to realign our route network to ensure efficient and clean operations that will benefit our customers, allowing customers to transfer to rail stations and access rail service, but also ensuring that our route network supports where customers truly need to travel. We will continue to actively coordinate with GO Rail and the launch and planned service to ensure a smooth and easy transfer for our customer base. Next slide, please. As you can see, the planned facilities will offer significantly more amenities than a standard bus stop that many of our customers might experience now. This will include real-time departure information, bike share and active transportation connections, partnerships for public art, and in the cases of terminals and stations, a key piece, washroom access for customers. We hear of this often, and it is something we intend to roll out. We also intend to offer heated waiting areas and additional shelter deployment within those terminals to ensure we are supporting customers actively. These facilities will support service delivery and give us room to grow. Next slide, please. As you can see on this and subsequent maps that I will share, there is conceptual future infrastructure that is significantly greater than what we see in the network today. On the map here, you can see the future Scarborough subway. You can see the development of hubs. You can see new terminals and planned new rail stations in Oshawa and further east. This will enable, especially with the location of planned hubs, the connection between both rural and urban areas, the connection from on-demand to scheduled service, and that first mile, last mile that customers do seek. In addition, larger infrastructure such as the terminals and rail stations I mentioned will anchor the network and enable that growth in service that we plan in the next 10 years. Next slide, please. As we move further east, you can see the significant impact of the Lakeshore East rail extension. But further than that, we also look to leverage our existing infrastructure in park and ride lots, in the development of hubs, and ensuring that we are offering the opportunity for customers to connect throughout the network. Next slide, please. And finally, as we look to the north, we see significant planned infrastructure establishing on-demand and scheduled connections in both in Port Perry and Uxbridge with Route 905. DRT is excited for the future of our infrastructure and service, for the opportunity to collaborate and continue liaising with our local area municipalities and our customer base, and we appreciate the opportunity to share this plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions? Chair Henry.
Thank you, Chair. Could you go back to slide 8, please? So I apologize. The slide is small. So it shows it takes you into Bowmanville, but with the announcement of the good news related to the GO Train East into Clarington, And with the growth, and if you were in our meeting this morning, Councillor Wu talked about the growth that's taking place in Newtonville and Newcastle. They are now the extensions of what Curtis was to the Oshawa train station. So going forward, knowing that the growth in those two communities is going to probably be at the same speed as the development of the GO stations as through planning, how are we going to pre-plan for bus service in those communities to get to the train station in Bowman?
Through the chair, that is a great question. With regards to the specifics of some of the communities you mentioned, I will just note that as of September 2023, we have launched scheduled bus service to the communities of Newcastle and Orono on Route 507. We do continue to monitor both scheduled service ridership as well as on-demand and specialized service ridership throughout the network. And as part of both the exercises outlined in this report in terms of the development of new infrastructure, but also as part of our service planning and forecasting, we continue to monitor all of the ridership throughout the network and look at opportunities where service may need to be adjusted or grow further. We do also look at plan development, potential plan changes to the network. So all of that works together to help us in our future forecasting. All of that will be considered throughout the network, but also for the neighborhoods mentioned as we look to future years.
So thank you. And using the forecasting tool and working with the municipality of Clarington on expansion will be brought into the plans as the transit's growth matches the growth of the communities.
While I can't speak to the specifics of what the future network will look like in every neighborhood as we look this far out at this point, I can say that planned development, planned growth, and ridership on our service will certainly be taken into account through that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioner Schumer?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you very much for the presentation. It's very informative. And I'm just wondering, and I did try going through the last year's transit capital budget documents, but roughly, do we know how much this entire adventure in redoing hubs and stations, do we have an idea what this is going to cost over all the years, and roughly how much we'll be pulling, say, from development charges? Because I would imagine the argument is strong for a lot of this being growth related.
So I can't personally speak to how the accounting for this project will work over the subsequent 10 years. We do, of course, include these projects in our future forecasting and budgeting exercises, but I do understand that there is a subsequent report that details a bit more of the financial side to this project coming at a future meeting, so that may be addressed at that time.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't see any other questions. If not, thank you very much. Great report. We have no delegation, no correspondence, our reports. The general manager report, I need a mover and seconder for that. Yeah.
I'll move all 4 reports.
Oh, okay, thank you. All 4? Okay, thank you. Are there any questions at all or any polls to any of these reports? No? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? No? Oh, sorry. I missed you there. Go ahead.
Thank you. 7.3.
Okay, what was your question?
Well, I've got a bit of a concern with this because as I read the report, we have no idea what this rebranding process will cost. Is that correct?
Through the chair, correct. The request in this report is if TECA agree that perhaps it's time to consider a rebrand, we will come back at the time of budget to put a dollar figure around what would that consulting component include, as well as the longer term what would a full rebrand cost. At this point, we just wanted to ascertain whether tech agrees that it may be time for a rebrand, so that we would then devote some staff effort to looking at what that would be. We just don't want to go and do something with that tech may not be interested in. So this is really to gain, to see if you're interested or not. If you approve with that, we will then look into some background and come back with costs that can be considered as part of the budget process.
Okay, thank you. The reason I ask is, well, I'm not convinced myself that the DRT needs a rebranding exercise, and they can be expensive, especially once you get into, as you mentioned, the long-term costs, right? If we're doing up new branding on all the vehicles and everything else, that can be pretty big dollars. And we've already had the big discussion about the proposed cap on the property taxes, and I'm personally not convinced that a rebranding exercise is necessarily needed at this time. It seems like one of those little extras that maybe we can't afford right now. And I was hoping that perhaps we could get some kind of idea. I understand you not wanting to commit the staff time to it, and that's very fair. But I'm not myself convinced at this point that a rebranding is a timely and financially necessary item right now.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Garrett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to the General Manager. In my past life, I was responsible for implementations of rebranding. I led the rebranding of CIBC as well as the Valet Inco company up in Sudbury. Rebranding need not be all that expensive. A common strategy is deplete and replace, where over time, as you're bringing new buses online, they have the new branding. It doesn't have to be a complete sweep. So if I'd be happy to provide comment, obviously not going to project manage this the way I did in the past, but happy to provide some input and some contacts if that's appropriate. Just wanted to dispel a myth that it need not be as expensive as you might think is coming down the pipe at you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, so we have a mover and a seconder for all four reports. All in favor? Oh, sorry, my bad. I have to do it one at a time. Which one? Oh, the one, okay, yeah. So we'll go all in favor for 171, 72, 74. All in favor? And then the one was pulled, 7-3. All in favor? Not in favor? Okay, thank you. We have no reports from the advisory committee. Other business. Did you want to discuss the other business? Go ahead.
Thank you. So a motion is just being put up on the screen. We'll just wait for that to come up. Just a little bit of background. This is a motion requesting consideration from Metrolinx that they consider the level of service on the Lakeshore East GO line. When service was 15-minute frequency pre-pandemic, service ran seamlessly, and any adjustments to the train schedule really had minimum impacts on the DRT bus schedule, and we could really absorb those changes without many customer challenges. So this is a request that we reach out to Metrolinx to request that the committee reach out to request a return to 15-minute frequency for the purposes of enhancing the viability of public transit as used and increasing ridership.
Thank you. Commissioner Brenner, do you have any, as a mover, any comments?
Madam Chair, I believe it's self-explanatory. I think that our general manager has certainly outlined the impact that the Metrolinx changes do have on our ridership in terms of across the lakeshore, and I think it's fitting that right now we send that information from us to Metrolinx, and I hope that our fellow commissioners will support this.
Commissioner Garrett, did you have any comments at all? Okay. So we have the motion before us. We have a mover and a seconder. If there's no other questions, I'm going to call the question. All in favor? Excellent, thank you. Does anyone else have any other business? I think we have an announcement. We have a tiny Garrett that came into the world. Congratulations. We No, your role is to beam with pride. Your role is to beam with pride. Excellent. Congratulations. So the next date is Wednesday, November the 8th. We'll see everybody then. I need a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Garrett, all in favor? Excellent, thank you.